Welcome back to another ATX crypto report, number 20? Oh shit, I forgot it. Anyways, it's March 1st, folks. It is an absolute banger. We are done with February. Welcome. We have passed one more month into 2023, and you know what that means, folks? One step closer to PulseChain. So, guys, this news is happening quickly. Hope y'all are staying up to date with everything. Hopefully y'all were able to scoop up some HEX around the 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent level, because it's looking more and more like we may never actually reach that number again. So let's take a look at a little bit what's going on. In this video, we're going to be looking at the dollar cost average. I corrected myself and made a whole spreadsheet based on yesterday's performance. I wanted to make sure to clarify that. I also made an additional spreadsheet for any one of my Patreon supporters to make it that much better and easier for you as well to keep track of your own dollar cost average strategy. And we're going to be taking a look at the overall sentiment happening right now with the entire community. Folks, if we take a look at the current price of HEX right now, we can see that HEX has been on an absolute tear so far. Now, this is the entire month of February right here. So starting the month of February, end of January right here, we have been on an absolute tear. And even if you go back to the beginning of the year so far, HEX has done just an absolute banger of a time. We can really see that we've broken out of the resistance level that we once had back here, and we've just been on an absolute tear ever since. So factoring all that in, let's see where HEX may end up going. Let's take a look and see if we can kind of gather some more information and speculate on this asset, because so far this year, it has been an absolute banger of a time. If we actually look, we are up 355%, which is essentially a 3.5x your money if you were able to scoop up some HEX at the 1.7 cent level, which does appear to finally be the bottom of HEX. We finally exited the bear market and we are entering into essentially a bull market. Why do I say that, folks? For many multiple reasons, but if we come over here to this chart right now, we can really see, if we break it down into the monthly chart and what's going on and what's happened. In the month of February, we closed at 146% with that 1 month alone. And guys, we have not made a move like that since all the way back here in March of 2021. We've made other moves similar to that in May of 2021, but there's not been an absolute blast of 140%. All these numbers here around 50%, 100%, 50%. But again, if you look on this one, it's a 200% increase in May. It is a 113% increase in March. And if we go back to December of 2020, it was a 330% increase. So we have not seen a 100+% increase in a month in HEX in quite some time, folks. So this is an absolute banger of an area to be sitting in. If we pull this up and actually see, God, my drawing on these things are just hideous. But anyways, if we get the idea, and it's probably because I have the magnet on. Let's see if, okay, that's much better. So if we actually pull this up right here, then we can see that HEX has been on an absolute tear since the beginning of this year. And we can again zoom in even further and once again measure even from the bottom of January, starting January of 2023, all the way up to currently it's sitting at 340%. So in 3 months time, again, there has not been moments like this happening since we were actually entering that bull cycle that you see here. And we can go through and kind of measure some of these other moves as well. So when HEX actually was reaching a bottom September of 2020, over the next couple months, it was sitting at a 400% increase. A couple months later, 650% increase. So this is just showing that once again, HEX is on an absolute tear. If I break it down over here to this one, over a couple of months span, it was a 900% increase. And I could easily see HEX doing something very similar to this as well. So if I go 900% increase and just kind of move it over here to where we end up seeing this, we'll go here. So this would actually put HEX in the ballpark of about 17 cents, just to kind of rough ballpark it for now. So HEX is on this move right now as we speak to kind of keep on pushing these higher and higher levels. And if we continue to see this happen, then we end up seeing indicators where stuff like this starts coming into play, and we end up accruing this little parallel channel. We continue to go, we get into the 17-cent region, which is again bouncing off somewhere in here. So this is, once again, if we end up getting into 17 cents, it would probably be around April. March to April is what it shows based on this little parallel channel that we're looking at. And we can break it down via monthly too and see that, once again, we are on track to show this exact same pattern right here, where it ends up breaking through and gets up to about 23 cents per hex. Now, I know I would be elated when we end up reaching these levels again, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm super excited. And big shout out to all the spouses real fast. Big shout out to all the spouses, all the supporters who, when you may have been in a position and you saw, because I know I did this myself, so I'm guilty as charged, but if you gave your wife or your spouse the updates of information when HEX was going on an absolute tear, and it was going from 8 cents or less than a penny all the way up to 50 cents, guys, that was more money than a lot of people have ever seen made in their life, and it was over a very short period of time. Now, they also lost a good 95% of that as well. So if you were in a situation where you ended up going and you were talking to your spouse, and say you made yourself $1 million, and then all of a sudden a bear market rolls around, maybe you didn't take profits, maybe you had other situations happen, maybe you got greedy, and you know, the list can go on and on and on, then that essentially turned that $1 million into something like $95,000, right, with this 95% increase or decrease. So big shout out to all the spouses, all the supporters who have continued trucking through. I cannot wait until we start reaching all-time highs. A word of caution that I would say to every single one of you beautiful people is, I would always caution sharing the actual moves with your spouse, because while you want to be excited and you want to share this information with someone that you have your life with, sometimes it's best to keep some things closer to the chest. Unless they're also in this game and they know and they're watching the charts. If they don't fully understand exactly what's going on, the bear cycles, what's coming through in the future, what's going to be happening, it can put some strain on your relationship. So be mindful. I think we saw it in the Highest of Stakes documentary Sizzle Reel, where the man ended up putting all of the house money in on PulseChain. Okay, so PulseChain still hasn't launched yet. She may still not understand because she thinks it's imaginary quarters. He can understand that PulseChain, when it launches, is going to probably do the most ridiculous face melting move we've ever seen in quite some time in crypto. So it's tough to have someone who's not on that same page with you to keep that same emotion with you, but I hope that makes a little bit of sense to all you beautiful people. So let's say what's going on to the chat real quick, and then we'll dive into the fun little chart of I have with my DCA situation. I have corrected that as well. Hexy Keen, what's up? First 45-day stake ended 100%. Easy peasy, let's go. Exactly, guys, time flies by. If you do not know that already, we are already 60 days into the year, essentially, at this point in time. Time flies by. So if you did a 60-day stake, congratulations, you've completed one of the stakes at this point in time. You want to possibly set up ladder situations to help get you forward going in the future. That way you can earn maximum compound interest over time. Set yourself up for 45 days, 60 days, up to 180 days, possibly a year. And we're going to go through some different staking strategies as well in the future. So if you like some of this information and you want to catch some of this yourself, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, as we are dropping some information on all of this as well as time progresses. So Crypto 7, smash the likes on your way in, people. Tree is flashing. What's up, Crypto 7? Big shout out, Crypto 7. He is a big supporter of the channel at this point in time, giving lots of love. So I'll give my love back. I do recommend to every one of y'all who are also not subscribed to Crypto 7's channel. He is a sentiment analysis, and he drops some good information to hopefully share every angle that we can receive from this crypto space that we're in right now, because it's good to hear the TA view, it's good to hear the sentiment view, it's good to hear the fundamental view, but if you combine everything into what you consider as your own investment thesis, that is when you can start making decisions based on every single little bit. So any information you can gather from any stream, highly advise and recommend. In fact, I still listen to all the streams myself, or at least I try. Being a streamer now myself is a little bit more difficult to catch every single stream all the time, but it is what it is. Let's pump this up. Share on Twitter like you don't care or care. Crypto7, thank you so much for that. Rusty, I've seen only a few of your shows, but they're good. Good work, ATX. I appreciate that. Hey, 7, he says. Bang, bang. Semper Fidelis, looking fly and sounding good, my brother. Hello, Vets in Crypto. Debbie G, Patreon supporter right there. Much love to Debbie G and her husband. What it do? Alan Fitzamay, how are you? Hello, hello. Famous Sackins into the week. $1,500 put you in the $500 sacrificers. I will not be sacrificing for that particular product myself. However, if you decide that you want to go and sacrifice that money, then you do you, boo. And if you got the money to get into the top 500, then you have fun making it there as well. ATX is great. Sub to ATX. Yes, 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 yes. Cool, Rusty. Hey, Pierce, what's up, what's up? Did I just miss Pierce Heath? I sure did. What's going on, guys? Hey, Pierce, how are you? I retweeted this out. Might get a few in. I appreciate that, Rusty. I appreciate the professional look. ATX Crypto, well, thank you so much as well. It's a lot of fun having all this stuff, and you know, whenever I get to go through it, y'all can't really see it right now, but whenever I get to go through and make some of these really cool little tie knots, it's just another little thing that I like doing myself. It's what I used to always do whenever I would actually have a job back in the day. I would show up with that suit and tie, or I would show up with a tie, and I would have that nice little tie knot looking fly, and it's good to bring that to the stream now and to the community, so we will keep on up. Nice. Tell your spouse nothing. I mean, dude, you gotta understand, it's like, there's a reason why I say you gotta have like 3 separate bank accounts. If you're in a relationship, you gotta have your bank account, they gotta have their bank account, and you gotta have a joint account that all the bills come in. It's kind of the same logic when you end up seeing this stuff with crypto. If you can go make $10,000 turn into $1 million, and you don't take any profits, or you don't take enough profits, we'll say, during that time, and then you see it drop down to 15,000 again, yeah, they're gonna probably say it's a scam. You know what I mean? They don't understand exactly how cycles in crypto work, and then you just are combating this argument with your spouse that you don't even want to be battling. And so a lot of the times it's just easier to not say anything, to share what you can when you can, and say, hey, I was able to make $100,000 on this crypto. Then they're gonna be happy. But if you're like, I got a $10,000 and look at this, on paper it's $1 million. You know, they're like, why aren't you selling, you fucking dummy? And so yeah, share it with your spouse if you want to, if you want a little bit of stress and hassle in your life, but at the same time, guys, don't have me say anything crazy. Like and share the word. Hey, appreciate that, Vets in Crypto. ATX blatantly wearing surfer shorts and fluffy slippers. So funny, Rusty. Yeah, Vets, what's up? Sup, everyone? How are you, Hex Force? Exactly. Spouses aren't good with $1 million losses, I find. Yeah, it's tough. You know what I mean? It's a situation that, like I said, man, there's a reason why you want to have 3 different bank accounts, in my opinion. And I probably, you know, I fell victim to this myself, because I literally I converted all the money. I was like, fuck 401ks, fuck the IRAs, blah, and I went bam into HEX, and then I got to see massive returns. It was beautiful. And I probably should have taken a little bit more profits along the way, which is where we learn in our first cycle, we earn in our second cycle. I've learned in my first cycle, and I now have profit-taking strategies that I use going forward, and I implement and I share. To anyone who wants that information, you can catch the Patreon as well. I'll actually dive into what you get into some of that a little bit later, but it's yeah, you learn in your first cycle, you earn in your second cycle. And to anyone who just now got into HEX. I don't think this gets enough recognition, but I don't think a lot of people even realize there's people that did get in at 2 cents, and this is actually the entry level of their introduction to HEX. So congratulations on finding HEX. Congratulations on already being up 3x, 3.5x your money. It is an absolute banger of a time. But again, figure out what makes sense. Don't get greedy. Greed will end up biting you in the ass. If I told my wife everything I'd messed up in crypto over the last 10 years, she'd probably pass out. Facts, dude. Same, Rusty. Dude, it's like, I'm willing to take some risk, and you got to have someone who's willing to take the risk, because crypto itself, in and of itself, is very risky, right? It's a very volatile asset, so you got to find quality over quantity. You got to make sure you do the research. You got to make sure you know everything that's going in and out, and you understand all the stuff that's happening and why it's happening. And yeah, if they aren't willing to dive that same little effort of energy to get in and figure out all the stuff that you know, it's best to kind of keep things to the side. You can go and, like I said, say you made $100,000 with the crypto that you're in. They'll be a lot happier than saying, I turned 10,000 into $1 million, but it's all on paper and I'm not selling. Ha! So just facts. Facts on facts. What's up, ATX Hello, glad to be here. Clifton, glad to have you here as well. At Crypto7, awesome stream yesterday, man. Vets Crypto, bang bang. Yeah, Crypto7 had a phenomenal stream. He actually did one with Access Alive as well. And, you know, I'm going to be breaking down some of the information that I found in a future video that I'm just going to be posting separately. I want to make sure I kind of have the little segments snipped out and all that good stuff to provide y'all with where I see the information that I can gather from that same information. So we won't be doing that on today's stream, but we will be doing that in a future episode. So if you are subscribed, you will be sure to catch that as well. I have some great or not so great stories. Thanks, that Pierce. And thanks for the super chat. Yeah. Facts on facts, you know what I mean? Always good, folks. We have, you're always positive. I love it. Keep it up. MJ Money, thank you so much. People might lose their ladies to PulseChain because it doesn't come fast. Well, I think that would keep the ladies around, if you know what I mean. But no, in all reality, it's, they call it wife-changing money. When PulseChain launches, we're going to have wife-changing money, so... But if you got a spouse who stuck with you through that little cycle of this nonsense over the last 456 days while we've been sitting in a nothing but a bear market over a year, yeah, you should probably fucking keep them around. Because if you're finding someone just because you got wife-changing money, they probably ain't going to do you any good. And you know, that ain't going to be best for your life. So, absolutely. 23 watchers, only 12 likes. What? At 10 cents, he turns on the green spinner. Hey, dude, yeah, once we actually get the other, once we actually get all of them, where's that light coming from? Oh, it's coming from that one. One sec. Nah, I'll leave it. Forget about it. Forget about it. I like it right there where it is. Anyways, at 10 cents, he turns on the green watch spinner. Yeah, so dude, like 10 cents isn't even that far away, and based on a whole bunch of stuff that we've been seeing here, it looks like it may be in the very near future a lot faster than a lot of us may even anticipate. So I'm going to kind of show you kind of where I kind of see what maybe ended up going on, where we end up going, and what's happening overall as well. So... let's see what's up. Let's go through this chat a little bit quicker for y'all beautiful people so you can get to that nice information. You're welcome, brother. Love your content. Absolutely, you do love Crypto7's content. Hex is kicking some butt. Absolutely, crypto conscious sure is. I love the watch spinner. Jealous. Yeah, dude, I've had watches since like fucking way long ago. I love watch spinners. I love the automatics. I love having everything done. And I always got tired when you put it on an automatic. If you haven't worn it in a while, you have to, you know, either charge it or move it or twist it or get it going to get the little pendulum wheel spinning again. And having a watch winder just made it so much simpler and easier. But yeah, that's a little fun fact. And then, of course, I found Richard Hart and I see his watch set and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the level I can attain. I will get there one day, and I will get there one day. At Crypto7, always great to see you, sir, and always enjoy your content. We definitely do enjoy Crypto7's content for sure, for sure. 293 to end stake, 18 Gwei. That is freaking wild. Yeah, Gwei right now, by the way, back up to like 60 or 70 or something like that. So now may not be the best time to go about ending stakes, starting stakes, swapping. Usually the best time to do it on average has been on the weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. You just want to kind of keep an eye at least on that particular information because, oh, right now it's 38. That's still a lot higher. Usually the GUI I look for is around 8 to 12, but with the new contract that just recently came out, blur.io, it pumped up the GUI quite a bit. And so now the price just remains a little bit higher than it normally would be. But yeah, I try to look for 8 to 12 GUI if I'm looking forward to do it in that scenario. Was your bag valued at $1 million at the top, prospector? We don't talk about the total value here over here on ATX. It was something that I decided to do myself, but to say that it was life-changing money and allowed me the ability to allow myself to retire and not have to work anymore, that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? So. But again, I got to also have the fun downside of telling the wife where we were and where we are now. So she would always see me, talk about it, HEX is at, 30 cents, and this is on the way down, right? HEX is at 30 cents, HEX is at 20 cents, HEX is at 10 cents. And then after 10 cents, dude, I was like, I can't even say anything anymore because I know it's going to be coming. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to get going. And then I used to do these little daily snippets of HEX close, and I would be like, HEX is at 2.3 cents. And she's like, it's at 2.3 cents? So I stopped telling her below 10, and then she heard it whenever it was at 2.3 cents. So I gave up trying to give her the updates on all that stuff. But when we start reaching new all-time highs and when we're into 2024 and in the future, like I said, I've learned a lesson. You just say how much money you've taken out on profit. It's a lot easier because then you can actually put it in your bank and actually have it showing. But at the time I wasn't willing to because greed kind of kept me from doing that. I was on the low mindset that HEX was doubling every 48 days or whatever the number was. It's doubling every 43 days. And I was like, it's doubling, it's doubling, it's doubling. Imagine if I just wait one more month. And of course, we already know what ended up happening after that. History has shown that it's definitely something that we can learn from. So I just released the spinners are on Bad Eyes. There you go. I just realized the spinners are on Bad Eyes. Yeah. Keep the spinners on, but they don't constantly spin because they had the same thing like Richard Hart's where, it does 1,000 cycles per day. It does 1,250 cycles per day on some. It rotates counterclockwise and clockwise for some. So each of them have their own mechanics as to what they actually are going on. Yes, they are on, but again, right now they aren't necessarily spinning. So all is good there. And I don't keep it going. I don't like go push the buttons to get them spinning or nothing like that. It just does what it does when it's in the back. Alan Fizame, hey, HEX price action looks strong. What do you think, ATX? Yeah, so coming back over here to the price action, let's just break it down real quick. So looking at the price action of what we actually have going on overall, if I break this down over here on this other chart, which is trading view over here for this one, I can go through and actually pull up the fib retracement level from essentially the previous all-time high or local high, should I say, not all-time high, down to the local low. And again, it's a higher low once again, as we talk about. So this will actually show let me actually fix this real fast. Extend lines. I don't need to go left, I guess. And I don't need any of this. Don't need that one. Don't need that one. Take off some of these extras, 3.618, and cool. All right, so that should actually kind of showcase what I'm looking at. Okay. So overall, what I'm seeing here, it looks like we are bouncing down right now. We've already passed the 0.618 level and threshold in terms of what we are going for a retrace. We've actually passed that and now flipped it over into a higher level. So the next level that we're looking for is that 1.618 level, which will put us right here at 8 cents. This is where the next little local high is that I see happening, that we're going to end up hitting this 8 cent level. We'll probably bounce around here for a little bit. As we do, you can kind of see when it comes down, it likes to bounce off a couple times, whether it's finding out that it's going to be resistance or support. It'll go through here, and then once it passes through again, it comes back down and it actually pushes through. So we're probably going to end up having the 8 cent level as a level of resistance for a little bit, maybe even just a few days. This is about a week span of time. This is on the daily right now, so it's not too long. From here to here was 5 days before. I guess I need to go all the way. from here all the way to where it actually broke through, 7 days. So if we end up doing the same thing, then we would probably end up passing this 8-cent threshold in 7 days, which would put us around March 7th, March 8th. We'll probably end up passing the 8-cent level in terms of a short-term sentiment. Now, this is all very easily out the window with any news of PulseChain, folks. You got to understand, like, we were dropping below and I had this little trend line showing. We were dropping below this trend line here, and it looked like we were actually going to be on a nice little downward slope for a little bit of time. We broke through the trend line. We actually pushed on down. This is the day Richard Hart made the announcement saying the bugs were fixed and all the Aragon sync is all good to go. So it's on to stage 10 now. Stage 9 is complete, and we got to see that all the way, just pushed all the way through. This is also the day that the God Whale number 2, as it's being called, came through and said, I'm going to buy 1,000 ETH worth of HEX, which was $1.2 million at the time, and just basically pushed the price all the way back up against itself with just the statement of the completion of stage 9. So again, all this stuff can easily change within a heartbeat. So it's just that way for everyone to know, but we are holding it as a level of as a level of support again. So if I come on down, previously we were kind of bouncing off it before. We actually came back, we broke under, and unfortunately when that happens, typically we go bearish for a little bit. So I actually was setting limit orders anywhere between 5.4 all the way down to 4.3 just in case, because Richard Hart hadn't said anything in about a week's time. Usually he was giving us once a week update once a week. And so again, from here, from this little mention of everything being done, we've already gone and done a 50% increase. And that's just starting. That's just the beginning of what's actually going to happen, because we can literally go through and actually kind of retrace this as well. So if I just kind of retrace what may end up happening overall, we'll get some news. We'll go here and just kind of show you what it looks like. So if we end up kind of doing exactly what this is showing, then this is basically bouncing us around 8 cents. It's going to drop on down, probably back down into the 6.4 cent level as a lower level of mean. So that means we probably aren't going to be seeing below 6 cent HEX going forward, at least in the future for the time being. And then we're going to go through, retest 8 cents and actually push through the 8 cent level if we keep on going as we're projected to right now. And then we're looking at the 2.618 level of 9 cents, 9.5 cents, and almost 10 cents. So that's kind of what we're seeing for the time being. Hopefully that answered that question. Hopefully it made a little bit more sense. Yo, Pierce, what's up? Second bull is when you make paper. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You learn in your first cycle, you earn in your second cycle. That's where you make paper, and that second bull is what we're entering right now. We got the Funkmaster X in the house, sipping down with that drink. Thanks, Clifton. Great vibe here. Appreciate that. Sev, what's good, my man? All the people giving all the love to Crypto 7. I appreciate that, y'all. Thank you so much for sharing that love and positivity here on this channel and not getting crazy. We got Clifton. There's plenty of meat on the bone left with HEX, folks. Don't be down if you didn't get at the lowest point. Your DCA thing is a hang in there. Yeah. So speaking of DCA, you know, we have got to talk about actually making sure that you are taking full advantage of DCA. Folks, I broke this down into a different little system here, and I tried going through and doing this math yesterday. And if you missed the stream yesterday, be thankful, because it was a fun little thing where you try doing math live on stream. And sometimes, I don't know why I tried, I was just like, I'm gonna do it. It's not a good idea to do live math on stream. So I broke it down. I'm a big fan of making things into a spreadsheet, making sure that I can understand all of this. So I made this into a spreadsheet. And folks, if you want to get access to this, link is down in the description below. Dollar cost average is a copy. You can go ahead and click it. It'll make a copy into your own spreadsheet should you want to adjust anything. Now, with that said, the only things you need to adjust in here are the light gray cells, okay? So let me go through and kind of show you some fun math on this as well. And this is going to make so much more sense now that I actually have it into a spreadsheet form instead of what I was trying to do yesterday. So again, if I break this down here, let's just say you bought $1,000 worth of HEX at the original price of even an all-time high of 56 cents, okay? So if you had bought that, you would have gotten 1,786 coins as your initial investment. Maybe that was your first introduction into HEX and you bought at the peak. Well, let's assume that you stuck around, that you didn't sell, maybe you were waiting to buy back in, maybe that the price dropping was kind of showing that it's like, man, I don't know if I made the right choice, all that good stuff. Well, let's just say for fun that you bought another $1,000, and I'm just gonna do 2 cents as the level of support here. Then the level right here would show that your average cost at this point in time will go down to 3.8 cents, which means that if you just did 2 purchases of $2,000, one at the all-time high, one near the all-time low, or local low, should I say, not all-time, then you would actually average 0.3 or 3.8 cents as your average price for entry based on those 2 purchases alone. For only $2,000, you would end up accruing 51,786 HEX, and the average price based on all of that would actually only be 3.8 cents. Now, for all of those folks who are currently able to do something like that, and they did continue to purchase, well, when you get into stuff like this and you start seeing the price end up being in this 7.5, 7.4 cent region, well, you just made a double on your money. Even if this is you right here who just did this 3.8 as the average, you've already doubled. You're already 2x up if you just average in. So the idea is that you do not miss out on averaging in. Let's just say that wasn't the case. Let's say you got $1,000 and maybe it was at 30 cents, for example. And then you bought back in again at $1,000 and maybe you were actually able to again scoop some up around the 3 cent level. Well, your average price is actually 5.4 cents. Once again, you are already price positive on your investment. This is huge, folks. And when we reach 10 cents, which is probably likely in the very near future, you are actually a complete double your money that you had even though you bought when the price was 30 cents. Averaging in is one of the best strategies that you can use to implement to make sure that you are continuing to make sure that you stay price positive. You can lower your average so much. And to anyone who wants access to this calculator, again, link is down in the description below. Click it, it'll pop up a little indicator saying, do you want to make a copy into your Google Sheets? Go ahead and do that, and you'll get access to this. Now, for the Patreon supporters who actually stuck around and support the channel, I made this little spreadsheet here for those Patreon supporters who have come through, supported myself, supported the channel, and continue to support me as well. So thank you so much to all of you beautiful people. However, this makes it to where you can actually open up an entire different strategy here. So you can have PulseChain, HEX, you can enter in multiple coins of your other coin here. And the idea is that you can actually go in and enter in all the prices that you bought when you first got it. So say, for example, you bought $2,000 worth of HEX at 50 cents, and I'm using all this for fun, just for ease of math. But then say, for example, you continue to buy in. Let me just kind of open this. Oops. Let me scroll on down. Okay, yeah, that was way too far. So if I go here and just say, hey, I want to still do an average of $1,000, and maybe you got in at 30 cents here, so you got some more. Well, let's say once again, you got in a little bit lower, even here. You go here and say, I got another $1,000 here that I was able to buy when the price was actually 3 cents. Well, now overall with those 3 investments, on average, with your total cost only being $4,000, you took what was 50 cents as your initial average down to 9 cents. And guys, you have to understand the power of averaging is huge. You get so much bang for your buck at these low prices that it offsets what you originally paid. And you can do this same thing to anyone who has access to the Patreon. You can go through and type in all of the entry points that you've ever had and figure out what exactly is your average. It is a phenomenal little tool that you can use, and I have this set up to go through with PulseChain, with PulseX, and again, access to this little spreadsheet is down in the description below. With that being said, if you do become a Patreon member, you also get access to this spreadsheet, which is the top 100 coins with live current prices showing up on that as well. I am still working on this particular page right now, but it has a buy and sell report and even a gains calculator here. So you can really find out what kind of gains you might be looking at it with this simple little investment and seeing how much gains could possibly turn into there in the near future. Along with that, you also get access to the profit taking strategy spreadsheet, which will actually show you a full strategy that I go through and break down. And I'll be making a video as well for the Patreon supporters to go through and explain how this chart works, and it'll be much more easy to understand. But guys, this is a massive opportunity. Not only that, you also get access to the live current price for where PulseChain might end up launching at. So currently, if PulseChain was to launch today, the current live data from Ethereum with price prediction and with the Uniswap liquidity pools are showing that we'd be sitting at roughly about 0.001366 cents, which again is a 13.6x from sacrifice price. So hopefully y'all were able to track that. You also get access to the Crypto Millionaire spreadsheet, and of course a whole bunch of stuff for profit planning and a whole bunch of stuff as well. So access to that is down in the description below to anyone who wants access to join. But guys, this is a phenomenal opportunity, guys. Averaging your investment is probably one of the best things that you can do for yourself, for your wealth, and for your future. If you bought in when the price was above what it currently is at right now, and as long as you still continue to average in, that average price that you end up paying amongst all of the purchases lowers significantly because you get so much bang for your buck now. So essentially, just for fun, to kind of showcase something, let's just say that you had $40,000 back when the price was, that you bought $40,000 back when the price was 50 cents, okay? Well, even now, all you have to do in order to essentially get 80,000 tokens, just to kind of break it down right here, is the fun math. If you actually end up doing 2,000 at 0.04 cents, 0.02 cents, you know what I'm trying to say, 1,500, there you go. Cool. So right there, your average with those two entries alone, a $40,000 purchase and a $1,500 purchase, brings your average down to 26 cents, and you actually end up getting almost the exact same amount of coins that you got when you made the purchase of $40,000 and you only got 80,000 HEX. Well, now you can do that same purchase with $15,000. We'll say 1,750, I believe is the actual number. Okay, yeah, so I don't know the exact number here. Yeah, 1,600, there you go, cool. 1,600 gets you a nice $80,000 coins. What actually used to cost you $40,000, and this number is projected to again go up in price. So averaging is probably the best thing you can do for yourself. I wanted to share that information with everyone. I wanted to clarify what I did yesterday with my winky little math, and apologize to anyone who had to sit through that little fun math. But again, thanks so much to everyone who did stick around through that. It was a fun little introduction there. Now let's take a look over here at the GitLab, folks. Once again, I check this out every single day to find out exactly what's going on with the GitLab. And once again, we got Brett Paulson active as of yesterday, 3 Commas Capital active as of yesterday, SJB933 active as of yesterday, and folks, Richard Hart was active on February 26th of 2023. He has not been active since September, so this was huge bullish news. This was the same day that he also announced that stage 9 was complete. So that is definitely signs of bullish news happening in the very near future, and y'all do not want to miss out on the opportunity here that is coming, because again, 7 cent to 10 cent is just a small step away from us getting to that level of attainment, and you can still probably end up scooping up some additional HEX. I myself am probably end up going to be setting some limit orders, probably based in this little report that I just did with this little bars pattern just a moment ago, and I'll show you again to those people who may be tuning in for the first time right now. I'm showing us to probably end up doing something like this, where we're probably going to end up seeing 6.3 HEX. So I've had to move my limit orders around a little bit, and I still have limit orders all the way down to 2 cents, by the way, folks. I can set my limit orders using CalSwap, and I set it out for 6 months. So if some freak chance we get a crazy wick down that the price ends up touching all of a sudden like 3 cent, 2 cent HEX for whatever reason, and it wicks back up, hopefully my order gets filled. And that's the idea of setting limit orders. You can do a moonshot limit order, but if you are looking to attain some additional HEX, you probably want to make sure that you're at least tracking what's going on with the market. And right now we're probably seeing that we're probably going to end up dipping right around 6.3 cents for the HEX right before we bounce up to about 8 cents again, is based on what I'm trying to see, what I'm kind of seeing as well. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense, but I've gone through and shown you kind of how quickly these moves can happen. So if we just break this down from where we were here to here, that's 118% in roughly 17 days. So if we do that same math over here and just find out what 118% is from where we are right now, and I'll even do just right here, 118%, yeah, it doesn't even show up on the math right here. That's too funny. 118% would end up pushing this roughly in the ballpark of about 118%. Yeah, right about 14 cents. So get ready, folks, because this move comes violent. When HEX likes to rally like this, it goes quick. I mean, it does such a fast move that it shocks people every single time it does it. To all the haters who've been saying that HEX is dead and PulseChain isn't launching, well, I mean, y'all are watching this exactly right in front of your eyes. So just keep on watching, haters from the sideline. Don't scoop up any HEX. We'll just keep laughing at you along the way. Fun little easy way to do it here. What did I just click on? Oh, cool. Are you sure that you want to? No. I accidentally ended up almost blocking somebody. That would have been by complete accident, just because I accidentally clicked on something. Wow. Good thing I actually read that message and didn't just agree. Okay, so Sev, what's good, my man? Absolutely. There's plenty of meat on the bone with HEX. Absolutely. Yep. Yes, ATX will be good at breaking that down. Yep, thank you, thank you. Short stakes, EHEX, long-term PHEX. Short stakes, EHEX, long-term, it's the opposite, Keen. Hexakeen. So because the gas fees are so much more expensive on Ethereum, your long-term should be on Ethereum if you are going to stake. And the idea behind that is that you don't end up accruing a bunch of gas fees over on top of each other, where it just washes out your yield, or it takes away so much of that yield that you could have made. So what's going to happen is Ethereum is going to be full of the long stakes. PulseChain is going to be filled, and I mean filled, with short stakes. It could be a day stake, it can be daily, weekly, monthly. People are going to go hog wild with the stakes that they have, because the fees are going to be so inexpensive that in order to stake and end a stake, it's going to be next to nothing, less than pennies, when PulseChain first launches. So it makes sense, if that's your play, that you're probably going to see a lot of people do short-term stakes. But what that means, if people go through and do that, is that the price of a T-share is going to ratchet up that much faster. Because if we look right now on the Ethereum side, the price of a T-share ratchets up every single time someone ends their stake, okay? Now again, it may not be much, it may not be a lot, but it does ratchet up, and especially when bigger amounts in their stake, which is why we saw almost a 700 HEX increase to this one T-share in essentially one day. And that was when the Godwell ended one of their stakes and then restaked it again. But it did move up quite a bit. And over the next 30 days, it's anticipated by the end of the 30-day period, we're going to see it ratchet up again another couple hundred, because there's a massive stake that's going to be ending. And you can actually see that stake right here. Nuke staked, unclaimed. Where was it? Share rate chart. Not that one. I just lost it. It was interesting. Early in stake, accounting. No, I don't want that page. Go though. Interesting, yeah. I always forget. He switched up the website around, and I need to refamiliarize myself with it once again so I can make sure that everything is all good, because there is a lot of information on hexfire.io that has a lot of good information for a lot of people to go through and see. But unfortunately with this, it doesn't showcase what it used to show, which was actually a really cool early in-stake payout, what it may end up being. And so, yeah, I'll end up figuring that out later. Don't worry about that. But in the next coming days, there's going to be one stake ending probably toward the end of March. That is going to ratchet up the T-share rate once again by a couple hundred. But that is what's going to be happening on PulseChain. That T-share rate will ratchet up even faster. So what I anticipate happening is we're not expected to reach 30,000 HEX per T-share until about November of 2023 on Ethereum. And if PulseChain does launch in the next couple months, I'm anticipating that it ends up reaching 30,000 HEX per T-share before the Ethereum side on PulseChain, right? So it'll probably be in this July, September timeframe just to get 30,000 HEX per T-share. So be careful. Be careful trying to wait. But yes, short-term stakes are probably going to be done on PulseChain. Long-term stakes are going to be done on Ethereum, to answer that question. Wives will definitely EES the marriage if you show them the HEX portfolio in its current state. I mean, some wives are back to being in the game again, right? You got like, it depends on if you continued to buy and if you kept on going through, or if you just left it where it was and say, I'll just wait until it gets back to 50 cents, right? But for a lot of folks, they were buying well before penny hex, so they're already up, 7x plus. And to some folks, if you turn $100,000 of an investment, you have a 7x, you turn that almost into a $750,000 right there. So great little return on the money. Very easy right there as well. Yeah, fluffy slippers in March. Hey, yeah, we all gonna be kicking our shoes off and hopefully drinking little Mai Tais and all that good stuff that you enjoy to drink. Sipping on the beach with watching the PulseChain launch happening. I think EX will be more for the big players who aren't concerned about fees. PHEX, I let that go too quick. PHEX will be for the masses due to fraction of a pennies, both popular. Exactly. Yep. Why would I need a wife when I have PulseChain? That's funny. Oh shit, that's good. That's good. That's good. I like that. All right, let's see what's up. And I'm a believer of some form of parity. I, for one, will buy whichever is cheaper. Yeah, so it's the 4 pillars, guys. We're going to have the 4 pillars, right? And I've said this in my streams previously. There will be PulseChain, PulseX, HEX on PulseChain, HEX on Ethereum. That is the foundation of a house that you need to start supporting. So what's going to happen is people, myself included, are going to say, hey, PulseChain went and did 100x. Oh shit, HEX is on Ethereum is at a 50% dip. I'm going to share some profits into that, and I'm going to stake it over here because I already know the power of staking. And I can go longer because why? We have so many different things available, so I don't need to have that money liquid. I can just stake it out for 15 years, for example. Stake it out to 10 years if you just want to get max T-share, longer pays better bonus, and then just wait until that comes due to fruition. When the time comes that you see HEX on a PulseChain is sitting at a dip and you got a nice little return of 20, 50, 30x of PulseX because it's gone and done a nice little rally, well, guess what? You're going to be probably taking some profits and moving them in. I've shared this before, but folks, you got to understand when it comes to stuff like this, you have to come through and what I would say, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but what I would do with the profits that you take is you move some of the money, say you invested, we'll just say $2,500, and you see PulseX go and do a 10x, for example, and you turn that into 25,000. Well, you don't actually have to sell your PulseX. You do technically sell it, but you don't sell it in terms of cashing out into fiat. You move probably $2,500 into PulseChain. Why? Because you're just trying to get yourself a position in the 4 pillars. So now you'll only say have 22,500 in PulseX, and you'll still have 2,500 in PulseChain. Well, what if this goes and does 100x, and during that time, this also goes and does a 50x? Well, you can probably take some of that money and move it back into HEX. Right? We're going to be in this 4 pillar system that money is going to be transferred to make sure that you're playing it the best. Like, you will not win only, let me correct myself. You will not make the right choice only by playing one asset. If you are an EHEX lover and that's all you want, and you didn't sacrifice for PulseChain and you didn't sacrifice for PulseX, and you get your copies when PulseChain launches and you just bridge them back into Ethereum HEX because that's your play, you're making the wrong choice in my personal opinion. I wouldn't do that myself if I was in that position. I would try to figure out how can I get a piece of all 4 pillars so that way my foundation in crypto is secure. Because if one goes up and the others go down, then you're gravy, right? It doesn't even matter. But if you're relying on one and one only, then you end up in a situation like we just talked about earlier in the stream, where you go from $10,000 to a freaking $1 million on paper, and then you watch that number drop because guess what, guys? Dips are in the game in crypto. 60, 70, 80, 90% dips are in the game. I do not think PulseChain, PulseX, and HEX are, PulseChain and PulseX are waived from that rule, right? There will be some dips in the game. And so when you have some profits and you go through and you take profits along the way with my profit taking strategy, if you want to go through and do that, or your own profit taking strategy, if that makes more sense for you, then you can use some of the profits that you've taken and buy back when the price does dip. You aren't trading, you're just scooping up some additional price when it's much lower. So I want to share that with everyone. Catching up on replay. I put it all in the house. Straight up though, like that's what the feeling is, right? When you have something like that. I know 7.46 hex, dude, incredible. LOL, sorry, I didn't mean to pry like that. Dude, you're good, prospector. No, there was a day when I first started, before I began streaming, I was watching stuff like Andre Jick, for example, and I was like, man, he shows off, you know, all this money that he's had and all this stuff, and he shows his portfolio and all that good stuff, and maybe I can do something similar and I can be inspirational like that. But then again, like for everyone, for whatever reason, they look at people a certain way when they only have certain things. And so I thought it would be best if I just share my thoughts and have a conversation with people and we all win together that way. Because if you were to hear something that could be unattainable for what you believe to be unattainable, then it makes it that much more difficult to come off across and actually listen and spread the message. And so like back in the day, early days of HEX, people would share their wallets and it would have millions upon millions upon millions of HEX, and they would have these little Terra shares, is what it was even called before T-shares were a thing, and they would talk about how much they have and all this stuff. But then again, like, it's not for people to know, right? I don't think that's for everyone to know. And again, sometimes when you hear that kind of stuff, it can come off as like, I can never attain that, so why would I want to listen, right? If you have 50 T-shares, 100 T-shares, 1,000 T-shares, it's a lot crazier than only if you only have one T-share. And I think one T-share, by the way, is fucking gold, man. I think one T-share in 15 years can do absolutely crazy freaking things. In fact, I actually have a little sheet here. Not sheet. This is stakehex.today. So say for example, you just have one T-share. This gets you, and I'll even break this down here. Let's divide this by 3. So I'm just gonna say 9,000 just to make it simple. So this gets you one T-share. Right now that would cost you roughly about, oops, let me pull it up on stream so y'all can also see what I'm talking about. So this one T-share right here would actually end up getting you, which would cost you roughly about $665 currently today. It would get you about one T-share. You would stake it out to 55.55. Now, for fun, let's just run some quick numbers and actually see what may be possible during this time, okay? So this is all a projection. Oh, I actually want to use a different website real fast. hexcalc.today, hexcalc.net. This is probably a lot easier for me to just kind of convey what I'm talking about. So we're going to say 9,000 hex for 5,555 days. That's the max you can stake for in terms of hex. Well, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the current price, but for fun, I'm going to do two different things. We're going to look at one, what happens if the price just stays the same at 0.75 or 7.5 cents, or what happens if the price actually goes up and goes crazy. So this one $600 investment in 15 years would still net you 523% ROI and a 34% APY, which would still give you a return of roughly $4,200. This is phenomenal in terms of any normal investment, by the way, right? If you look at real estate, if you look at stocks, if you look at any of this stuff, this is incredible return of your money. But we're in crypto and we're looking for much more gains, and I don't think that in 15 years we're going to be seeing this price of HEX even below $1. So we're going to do two things here. We're going to say the price of HEX ends up reaching $1, and we're going to recalculate this here. That turns $674 into $56,000 in 1 year or in 15 years time. This is pretty incredible, but what happens if HEX ends up reaching even into the $20 level? And I'm still being very conservative when I say this number, in my personal opinion, based on the information that I've seen and can find. So at $20, you turn that $600 investment in 15 years into $1.12 million for one T-share, folks. That only costs you $600 to lock it up for 15 years. And I do believe in my heart of hearts, again, not financial advice, you got to do your own research, and if you invest, that's on you, boo, right? I didn't tell you to do anything, but if you got one T-share, then you could potentially be sitting on a freaking gold mine. So this is where I want people to kind of change their mentality, right? I need you to understand the power of a T-share, the compounding interest. You earn daily yield trustlessly every day for 15 years. So this actually ends up turning what was 9,000 hex in the beginning into something in the ballpark of about 56,000 hex over 15 years, okay? But that 15,000 hex or 56,000 hex, did I say 15? I meant 56,000. It turns in the 9,000 hex turns into 56,000 hex with 47,000 hex in yield alone. That's that 6.3 payout per T-share every single day. And folks, this is being conservative. This is based on an average payout of 6.35 hex. And currently, even right now today, if we look at where we currently are, the last 6 months alone, we have a daily payout of 6.39 cents. 6.39 hex per T-share. So it's already gone up based on this number alone, and that's in the last 6 months. What happens when we actually start reaching above 7 hex per T-share, 8 hex per T-share, 10 hex per T-share, 20 hex per T-share? Because guys, 15 years may not seem, or it may seem like forever, but in reality, it's really not. I think any one of us who have kids understand that that fucking flies by. Any one of us who have kids can know, because like my daughter turns 12, guys. My daughter turns 12 in June. That's fucking wild. My son just turned 10. Are you joking right now? And in 5 more years, you're saying that that could possibly be him turning $600 if I had just done this when he was born 10 years ago? Like, that is into $1.2 million being conservative? Man, the power of a T-share is powerful, folks, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. But hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. But I bought more today, plain sailing it. Hey, Pierce Heath, absolutely. I bought more today, plain sailing it till 10 cents. Yep, liquidity gang, absolutely. I'm going to try to keep my excitement to myself this cycle. My plan is to not tell anyone, including my wife. It's a fun challenge. Alpha, sub to ATX hexagons. This is alpha. I appreciate that. What we could do is, what could we do to pump? Let me just try reading again. For whatever reason, my mind is not reading this correctly. What could we pump to on news? We are about to go live. Testnet V3, I wonder. Yeah. So, great question. So let's just kind of go back over to the chart once again and just kind of see what HEX has done in the past with these announcements, right? So, and I probably should have left the drawings on, but it is what it is. So if we just kind of go back over here to what actually was, right? So this is HEX when it was originally around February 3rd. This is when Richard Hart really started getting people hyped and people started getting really hyped with it. So from here, it actually ended up doing a 30% increase, but I'm going to be nice and say an 81% increase over the next few days because everything kind of takes a little bit of time to dispense. Some news gets siphoned out. And from there, we start seeing some nice little rallies. So we're already looking at an 81% increase, which again, if we just do that same move right here, 81% increase from where we are. This is assuming we get testnet V3 announced, then we're looking to do probably an 81% increase, brings us right back into this 13, 14 cent range. I look at so many different things and it keeps taking us back between this 13, 14 cent range. And this is a wild thing in my mind because it's something that I'm trying to focus on. And if you actually break this down here and see, I'll actually give you a little idea here. From back in October where we're actually sitting in the low all the way to, I can't actually get up there. Oh, because I have the RSI. Give me 1 second. Let me lower the RSI a smidge. Move this up a smidge. Okay. So here we go. This is back in October of 2022, right whenever everything's kind of started dropping a lot heavier. And every single thing we do kind of ends up getting back to this little retracement level. So first we got back up to the 0.618 level. We got to pass through that. We actually came back down and used it as a little level of support at this point in time. And from here, I wish it would leave everything. Can I move this over to the right side? So that way y'all can also see. Reverse. Nope. Visibility. Oh man, I could have sworn I could have flipped this around to the other side. I don't know why I was thinking I could. Levels, right? Oh, here it is. Right, cool. So if we actually break this down over here, once again, HEX dropped down. We came back up. We tested this 0.618 level. We retested it again. We bounced off the 7.86 level. We bounced off and used it as a level of support and we bounced through. Well, from here, we started reaching that 1.618 level once again. This is always important because in the little retracement for HEX, it's always important. But then we come back up to this 2.618 level, which is what HEX has typically done in the past, time and time again. This 2.618 level is pretty common, brings us in this 10-cent range. So we're definitely now bouncing between 8 or 7 cents all the way up to essentially 10 cents. And then from there, it's just a matter of time before we start getting into the 3.618 level, which again brings us into the 13, 14 cent range. Once again, everything kind of hovers in this 13, 14 cent range. So I'm seeing any news of PulseChain kind of breaking us way up into the 13, 14 cent region. And yeah, that's kind of what I would expect or anticipate, just kind of based on what I'm seeing. Now, will there be some retracement? Sure, right? This is going to happen. We're going to hit the level of resistance right here. We're going to come back down. Well, we're probably going to do the same thing when we reach 10 cents. We're going to hit this level of resistance. We're going to come back down, possibly even down to that 6.9 level, right? We've talked about this little range that we've been sitting in now, but this new range, I don't really see us kind of getting down in this 3-cent range anymore. I think those days are gone. They're past. But there's no way of knowing. And just in case, I still have limit orders down there just in case one of the random wicks end up hitting it down and spiking it down. Hopefully I can scoop up some additional HEX, but I'm not putting all my money down at the 3-cent level hoping that that's going to come around again. I just have some because I can set it for 6 months and forget it. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I still have other limit orders that I'm going through and placing well within this region here, between this 6.3 all the way up to essentially the 10 cent once we start getting up there. That DCA example is awesome. I may steal that. Yeah, go ahead. Crypto7, the link is down in the description below for anyone, right? So that one calculator right there, this one right here, is public for everyone. I made it very simple, very easy. And then if you become a member of the Patreon, then you actually get access to a little bit more of the entire spreadsheet over here. Whoa, not that. You get access to the entire spreadsheet over here, so you can really enter all of your averages of all of your entry prices and find out exactly what your average is. But yeah, this access is for everyone, anyone and everyone. Link down in the description below. Feel free to use it. FOMO, what's up, ATX and Hexicans? What's up, Big GZ? How you doing, player? Love seeing you back in the chat. HEX7, steal that, brilliant. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for the stream, Funding Jim. Thank you for coming through as well. We had Funding Jim on and recently did an interview with him. If you missed that, go back and check that out. Just type in ATX Funding Jim. You'll get a chance to see it. He drops some amazing knowledge. Love having Funding Jim in this house as well for our community. Hi, Funding Jim friend. Bro, what's up? Let's make it generational wealth. Hey! Yeah, absolutely. Like, fucking, absolutely, guys. This generational wealth, very possible, especially if we end up getting into this little millionaire status over here. Because, guys, if HEX goes and just returns back to even all-time highs and you were able to scoop some up, you'll just say like you got $2,000 and it goes back and you bought it when it was, you know, 2.5 cents, for example, and we get back up to 50 cents. Well, that's a good 25 extra money there. PulseX is going to launch soon. PulseChain is going to launch soon. And when it does, this money of essentially what is that? $7,000 in total could easily turn into something like $425,000. So get a game plan ready, guys. The 5 P's: proper preparation, prevent, support, performance. Make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you're mentally prepared for what's going to happen, because when you start seeing these numbers, sudden wealth syndrome is real, folks. Do not let it get to your head, right? Make sure that you keep yourself calm, level-headed, make rational, real decisions, not based on emotions, but based on logic. Make sure that you are doing everything you can to maintain a level head, because, guys, while it may be absolutely wild and you can see some phenomenal returns, paper money is different than real money. So unless you're cashing that out, which I won't recommend doing, you know, like if you make $425,000 on 7,000, great return on your money. Don't get me wrong. Would I recommend selling all of it at that point in time? Fuck no, right? Like there's still so much more, especially based on the fact that we see on average, the decentralized exchanges go for a 519x within 1 year. Based on the fact that we see a 3800x in 4 years when it comes to Pulse to layer ones, right? So based on all this, that $450,000, there's $475,000. While it was great, you could have, if you just held it, turned it into 10.8 million, and that's assuming HEX only goes back up to previous all-time highs. That's not even counting what happens when we end up getting into the dollar region, the $2 region, the $10 region in 4 or 5 years. What if we end up reaching $20 in the next 4 years for HEX? that is a phenomenal return on your money. You know what I mean? So let's just assume you go and do 100x here. Well, you turned a lot of money into a lot of money. You know what I mean? So make sure you don't wreck yourself. That's all I can say on that one. To have some plan ahead, make sure that you come mentally prepared. It is very easy to get lost when you start seeing these kind of numbers, especially when you actually see it happening to yourself. A lot of us have never made this kind of money. I personally had never made the amount of money that I was able to make in the time that I was able to make it with my HEX returns. And that's what allowed me to go all in, because I was like, holy shit, this is freaking the best thing I've ever found. It probably remains the best thing I will ever find. And I think a lot of the money that I'm going to be using is probably going to be flowing back into HEX that I make from these profits, right? Because if you have this and you can move this 1 million, just $1 million of this number here into, say, HEX, for example, and then during that time, HEX goes and does even a 10x here, well, you start doubling that money real fast, right? You're still sitting on a lot of money, but I don't think you should be having some sort of plan to make sure that you secure your wealth. And I call it the foundation, the 4 pillars: HEX on PulseChain, HEX on Ethereum, PulseChain, and PulseX. All of them are very, very important to remember and very important to keep in mind. At V3 release, 10 cent is a no-brainer for HEX. Yeah, so be careful again, because again, there's plenty of people are expecting that. But yeah, I can see it reaching 10 cents and probably coming back down into the 7 cent region, 6.9 cent region, somewhere here in this range, and then bouncing back up again. We've seen it time and time again where HEX has kind of proven exactly what it does already in the past. And if we just do the little bar pattern here, and you can really see, let's just go through from Richard Hart making some announcements, right? So even starting here, this is like when it really started happening. HEX, Richard Hart started making more, announcements. Well, I could see us going through and doing something like this, where we go through, we hit 10 cents, we bounce back down for a little bit, we bounce back above 10 cents, we bounce around here for a little bit, we bounce up to 13 cents, we come back down to 10 cents, we bounce back up to 13. HEX is on this little same trajectory, so if all we do is literally just copy this out or even just move this out, further, then it's kind of showcasing exactly what we could be looking forward in the future, as long as we keep holding this level of resistance. But that's all within the next month, folks. And again, for return wise, from where you currently are right now, if we go back up into this 14 cent region, that's almost a 2x your money from where we are right now, right? 7.5 all the way up to a nice little 2x of a 14 cent range in just 1 month time. And that'll essentially be 4 2x's. So HEX started at 2 cents on the low, so it got 3.4, I'll say 1.7, 3.4, 6.8, 13.6 would be, the 3 doubles. Yeah, so that's already 3 doubles when we reach 13.6. And it's very likely the HEX continues to double and double and double. But be ready for just anything, right? We never know what could happen. It could break down and could fall through this pattern. We may reach back down to the 7 cent region again. We don't exactly know what's going to happen, but based on all the metrics that I can see, that I can look at, I mean, dude, there's a lot of bullish momentum happening, especially here within this information. Funding Jim is the man to listen to. Absolutely agree. Definitely. Smash the likes and sub now if you would like me to collab with ATX. Hey, check it out, Crypto 7. Let's see y'all get this freaking like all the way up. Well, shit, guys, let's go. Let's collab with Crypto 7. Like, I need your help, folks. Start smashing the likes. What are you doing? A collab with Crypto 7 would be absolutely incredible. So let's make it happen, folks. ATX is a spreadsheet wizard. I appreciate that, Rusty. Crypto 7 in the house. Let's fucking go. UK biggest HEX streamer here live. Like and subscribe. Show your support to ATX and Crypto 7 channels. Absolutely. Both of them, both of us, right? Good stuff at Crypto 7. Absolutely, folks. And guys, this is all very, very possible, very likely that we end up seeing something like this happen. How's the trade volume on HEX? Matic pair on Polygon. Think of creating LP. Be careful of creating LPs, right? Unless you understand impermanent loss, it's very difficult to end up making money unless you are coming with a lot of money. Now, if you have a lot of funds with HEX already and you're earning some additional yield and your T-shares are earning some additional yield, LPs maybe not going to be that bad for you, because while you may lose some on the impermanent loss side, the amount that you're making on the yield, it makes up any difference that you have. So it makes sense for the bigger whales to go through and provide liquidity or LP in that scenario. But if you're kind of like a smaller fish in the sea, like I definitely am not swimming with the with the whales. Then at the same time, it's just one of those things that I'm gonna probably avoid LP for now, for the time being. But taking a look at liquidity, folks, let's take a look and see what the liquidity is looking like right now for both HEX and HEX versus Ethereum on both of them. So yeah, I mean, guys, we still have a big wall all the way back here. I think a lot of folks still have limit orders set just in case, and I'll just kind of show you here. People still have limit orders set down here just in case the price does end up dipping. I myself have mentioned already, I still have limit orders here that I just have just in case they end up coming down and wicking down for whatever reason. But at the same time, do I see us reaching this position anymore? I personally don't, especially considering the next little wall right now. You can kind of see we keep moving, but right here, the red line, the red line is actually going to be essentially where we are currently with the HEX price. Everything to the right is a sell wall. Everything to the left is a buy wall. So this is all people saying that they're willing to hold the price all the way up. And right now that's looking to be about 5.4 cents is the real big wall that we would first hold. So if the price does end up dipping down, we'll probably end up bouncing off the 5.4 a few times because we got a lot of limit orders here. Even right now, 7.3, people are starting to fill this in. But yeah, guys, after this, people are moving things over onto the right side to kind of keep suppressing the price down, which we see if we actually look at the chart right now. You can see that when you end up seeing stuff like this, this is essentially the little wicks that you see right here. This is essentially basically people selling, right? That's all. That's limit orders either being sold or people dumping on the market or whatever the case may end up being for it. But that's usually all that is. When you start seeing these little wicks right here, these are all, God, Drew, drawing on this little, y'all get the idea though. Wicks on the bottom, limit orders as they sell, basically that buy wall of support that we're talking about. Limit orders being pushed down on the wicks is basically sell wall, pushing the price down. And we're just pushing through, we're just eating up that liquidity. Every time someone puts that money there, and the HEX price is just saying gobble, gobble, dude, and just fucking scooping it up every single time. I'm a big fan of seeing what's happening because even if you look here, I talked about this yesterday on my stream, but you got to imagine people are going to be looking for the best value for their money. People that are holding Ethereum, that have been holding Ethereum, will say like the Genesis wallets, for example, don't want to get heavily diluted when PulseChain launches. So how can they offset the dilution? Well, they can get into something like HEX, for example, right? And what I mean by dilution is Ethereum, when it gets copied and forked over into PulseChain, one Ethereum is only going to give you one pulse. However, the entire dilution is being diluted by 1.2 million X. So that means that you would have to have a phenomenal return on that for you to ever see the same price as one Ethereum is for one PulseChain when it first launches. So how can you avoid losing some of that money right away? You can avoid it by getting into stuff like HEX, for example, getting into one of the other ecosystem coins that we have kind of sitting around. And that's probably going to be your best play. It allows you to scoop up some HEX. It allows you to earn some additional yield if you end up staking it, like we have seen Godwell number 2 end up doing. They ended up staking it there for roughly 30 days. And the amount they're going to end up accruing is roughly about 500,000 HEX just by staking it for 30 days. And God forbid we end up reaching back into the 50-cent region once again. That's again a nice little $200,000 that they had just because they staked it. Should they go through and stake it a little bit longer and actually end up reaping the full return. But a lot of folks are using this as their play. For the Ethereum side, they're using this as their play to get into HEX because it allows a pull. It's kind of what the whales are doing. They already have Genesis Ethereum. They aren't moving any USDC over or anything like that. So liquidity wise, guys, we are looking freaking pretty. I mean, look at this, guy. I mean, we're starting to see this little wall start forming again, roughly in this little 20 cent region. But again, people are setting this in place just in case the price ends up running. Dude, if the price runs, these little walls that are being set right now are going to be basically stopping the price from rallying all the way up to seeing some crazy number. But this is very possible, folks. Very, very possible. We don't have much liquidity. I mean, right now, there's roughly, what, 22,000 HEX here? Yeah, I mean, 228,000. I mean, 228,000, 228,000. That's not that much HEX. That's really not. People can come in like a whale, for example, can scoop that up. I mean, heck, the whale itself that just recently did that order, if I'm not mistaken, was like 28 million hex. And so if you do an order like that, this all gets eaten up in basically one purchase. So liquidity is super low, just means that it allows for more volatility as well. Crypto 7 killing it, absolutely. Pierce ETH, yes sir. I will pay my ETH HEX in stake fees with money from PulseChain and HEX stakes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Hex Squid, you gotta understand. Like, people are scared of what's going to happen to the Ethereum side, but like, if you are in the 4 pillars, you should have so much money being made during this time that you can pay for the in-stake fees. And even then, even at the highest points in time, I think the highest I've heard was like $1,000 or $1,200 to end a stake. While that seems absolutely freaking wild, if you end up making so much more money than that because you're staked for 10, 15 years, that's not even including the fact that Ethereum is going through a sharding process in the future. So gas fees are going to be lessened. So that way, if you do have a long-term mentality, Ethereum is going to keep improving, right? That's their mindset. That's their plan. That's their goal. They want to make fees cheaper as well for everyone, because they know that the price of Ethereum, when it reaches $10,000, $13,000 again, for example, it ends up being that close, and they have to have something else to kind of offset people paying the gas fee to keep the network going, to keep people using the network. So they are going to have something here in the very near future. But absolutely, funding Jim. Whales, yes. Whales. Exactly. 777. What's up, Tin Top? Hello, Hexicans. Great stream today. Thank you, Hexicane. Smash the like and subscribe. ATX did a Hex staker. ATX did as a Hex staker did. You get on Pulse Dogecoin train. I did, and is what led me to Pulse Bitcoin, in my opinion, another diamond in the Pulse ecosystem. So, my opinion, when you get into altcoins, meme coins, whatever you want to call them, different coins other than the actual Richard Hart pillars, is I would always set up a third wallet. So I have a 3-wallet strategy, okay? One wallet I have with all of my Hex stakes, the sacrifice for Pulse, the sacrifice for Pulse X. The other wallet I basically copied. I basically copied this wallet right here over into this wallet right here. I have similar stakes set up over here. I sacrificed on PulseChain and PulseX, and if I didn't, and if you didn't, you can move some of the money from your sacrifice and just split it into this wallet when it happens. So that's 2 wallets that you can have. These 2 wallets, I pretty much never want to touch anything other than the PulseChain system, and by system I mean the actual 4 pillars: PulseChain, Hex, Ethereum, EHEX, and then PHEX, PulseChain and PulseX. The third wallet is going to be your meme coin wallet, your degen wallet, your wallet for shits and gigs, basically. You can set that wallet up to protect yourself, and you can also allow yourself to get into some of these other tokens if you truly feel that you need to, right? If you are in the system that, like, dude, I want to get all these coins that are all available. Oh, you got, Pulse Dogecoin, we got Pulse Bitcoin, we got ASIC, we got Maxi, we got Hedron. All these coins I keep if you do have them, in a separate wallet. I don't want them touching any of my main wallets of Hex and PulseChain Sacrifice. I don't want those wallets getting compromised, dude. I would be wrecked, and money can always be made up again. I've always said this, but I would be completely wrecked if I just lost all of it and had to restart from scratch. Would I do it? Absolutely, because I believe in what's going to happen in the future. Would I be wrecked and emotionally distraught for a little bit? Heck yeah, right? And I don't want to go through that. So why put myself in that? Why invite that situation into my life when I don't need to? Get yourself a separate wallet that you can make all those plays on. That's kind of what I would say if you end up getting into a meme coin. Just set it and forget it. Infomercial voice. Anyone know the best website for LP charts? I've seen this new one recently used by ATX and Axis. I usually use the normal Uniswap one. Yeah, so this one is uni-v3.corky.tech. So again, I don't know if that really shows, but I'll put it in chat just to make it simple if y'all want access to this one, so you can kind of see. But yeah, my other one that I would usually look at is also Uniswap as well. Those are pretty much my LP charts that I would use, just because it's the one I actually know how to read. It's what I kind of understand and all that good stuff. So that's kind of where I would end up seeing it for myself and my knowledge as well. We need LP to move up to have support and not slip back to 5 cent range. Yeah. So again, like if you just look at this little system here, we got a lot of support right here in this little 5 cent range. So assuming that some of this should, like you're talking about, Alan Fizime, I agree. A lot of these are probably people still waiting / hoping that just in case it may end up going back down. But based on what I'm seeing right now, I just don't see that being the case. I don't think we are going to go back and see the retrace down into the 5 cent level, down into the 4 cent level. It would be kind of like you would have to have a news happen from, you would have to have some sort of news from Richard Hart saying like, PulseChain's delayed and I don't know why. Or we got a bug and we truly can't figure it out, right? Or whatever the case may be. It has to be a real bad situation for people to just say, I'm out. But like right now, guys, we're just pumping price and it doesn't look like we're stopping anytime soon. I mean, even today, it's already up, what, 12%? And that's just today, right? I mean, if you look at some of these moves and you go back and look at the monthly, for example, I mean, last month we ended up closing at 146%. We haven't had that happen all the way. We haven't closed above 100% all the way since way back here in March or May of 2022, okay? This is May of 2021, my bad. Because, yeah, May of 2022 was a terrible time. Mid-May launch, wrecked. Like, literally, that was a mid-May launch right here, and it was like, kaboosh, devastated. That's what happened there. But yeah, we haven't seen these little 100% increases in 1 month time since 2021. So we've already got that here in February, and it looks like we're continuing to keep on pumping and keep on pumping. Let's just take a little gander over here and just see, you know, for shits and gigs. Let me kind of pull up another little Fibonacci retracement here and see if we can kind of divulge some information and see what we can gather. So it looks like if we come back up to the 1.618 level, we're looking at the 10 cent region here on the monthly. If we end up breaking it down over to the 2.618 level, which HEX is likely to do as well when it's on its rallies, because you can go through and we can go back and see if you end up doing this on previous rallies, it's pretty easy to see that HEX has done, you know, these little moves here to up to 2.618 multiple times. So it goes up, it comes down, it goes back to 2.618, right? We can know that. It goes up and then it comes down. Whoops, did I not click it? It goes up, it comes back down, it reaches that 2.618 level. And again, like we just now starting to see what's going to happen here. So it is very likely, folks, that we end up kind of reaching this 2.618 level once again, getting back into the 10 to 16 cent region, all the way up in this little range. I could easily see that being very, very possible. So hold on, because yeah, guys, it's freaking, it moves fast. Like HEX will come through with the violent, great vengeance and furious anger. What, I forget how Samuel L. Jackson says it in Pulp Fiction. Ezekiel 1575. I don't even remember it, but we'll see. Yeah, guys, it's an absolute banger of a time. 36 likes on the channel. Hey, hopefully we get enough to continue going and get our man Crypto 7 in here as well for a nice little stream, or maybe I get invited to his channel. We'll see. We need LP to move up. Absolutely. Alan Fizime, search liquidity provider. It's one of the first hits. There you go. Thank you, hardware. I appreciate that. ATX Crypto. What's up, Harry? Dude, what is going on with my English today? English is hard. It's like my math yesterday. Math is hard. To those of y'all who missed yesterday's stream, that shit was comical in terms of how bad I fucked up on math, which is why I make stuff like this, because I can make spreadsheets and I can make it look fucking pretty and I can do all this stuff so it does the math for me. And this is so much easier, and I don't know why I didn't do this before. But yeah, to anyone who wants access to this DCA calculator, again, link is down in the description below. And this is public for everyone to be able to make a copy of themselves for the Google Sheets as well. Just FYI. ATX Crypto, what's up? Crypto 7, greetings. And everyone in the chat, let's go Hexicans. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, I've been selling the same. I've been seeing the same people like you, Alan. Absolutely. Alan's been all around 10 top. Good name. Love it. LOL. What? Alan Fizime, been seeing you in other YouTube live chats the last 2 days. Alan be all around, man. You kidding me? He's been around. He checks out Kinetic streams. He checks out Randy's stream. Like he's around, guys. He gets around, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I've been getting around the community. I get around. I'm a HEX sloop. I love it. Well, as long as you said the same thing, that one, that website where he has the LP chart, LOL, it looks clean. Never mind, found it. Yeah. So yeah, okay, cool. You found it before I did. Boom. And I sent you the same message via tweet to anyone who wanted to go through and also check it out. It is in the live chat there to anyone who wants to go through and check it out. It says thanks. Absolutely. Well, hold on. Now I gotta wonder, because you know, whenever I see some stuff, and I'm pretty sure that I made. So I don't know how I didn't make this happen. So let's do this real fast. Give me 1 second. How do I get? Interesting. I can't add the wrench from here. All right. Well, let's go back over here real quick. Click me, mute me, and make some people some wrench gangs. Moderation activity is now hidden. What does that mean? This includes messages that are held for review. Okay, cool. Well, let's make some people some wrenches real fast, guys. It's been an absolute blast. We've had an absolute amazing week at this point in time, an amazing month, an amazing year. Starting off 2023 has been an absolute banger. Funding Jim, welcome to the Wrench Gang squad. Pierce Heath, welcome to the Wrench Gang squad. We got who else we got real quick? Of course we got Crypto Freedom, Wrench Gang squad, guys. Again, I love seeing these wrenches whenever I get them sent out. We got some folks who come back here very often. You want to know how to get a wrench? Come visit my channel, participate in the chat. We have some fun. It just makes a lot of sense to earn and reward the folks who are coming through and participating in the chat, having some fun. Again, Wrench Gang! Yeah, who's getting wrenched up? Let's do it! Absolutely, folks. I think those are the people that I'm giving out the wrench at this point in time. Harvey, I've seen you many a times coming through and supporting the channel, so thank you as well. Crypto Jake, I don't know how you didn't get it, but bam! Once again, we got the Wrench Gang squad up happening right now. It is a wrench attack happening that just went through and just went down. All right, guys, I got a question for y'all. I'm trying to figure out a good thumbnail for what could be happening. I posted this on Twitter as well, and I was trying to get y'all's idea which one y'all like the most, right? And so far it seemed like it's either going to be the top right one, which has the rocket, and oh my god, it was absolutely hilarious. Someone said rocket's now known to possibly be related to financial advice or some nonsense, so they just put NFA on the rocket, and that shit had me fucking dying, dude. I was laughing like crazy. But it seemed like these two are by far probably the most popular. I'm gonna go through and I'm making a couple of thumbnails that I have happening. I went through and adjusted it to see if these were any better, to let me know y'all think of these, and then I just went through and did a male character version of the same thing. So yeah, if y'all see any that y'all are really enjoying, give me a little heads up on that, you know what I mean? Want to see what's happening, want to see what's going on, and make sure that everyone has it all good as well. And where are we at right here? Smash the like and subscribe. Yeah, absolutely. Do that. ATX, boom, boom, boom. Got that. Dan, do we all catch up? Do we catch up to chat? Hey, very nice. Thank you. Awesomeness. Is the Discord for Patreon peeps? Sure is. Discord is for Patreon peeps, my friend. You are absolutely correct, Alan Fizame. Discord, you get access to Patreon. Not only do you get access to Patreon, you also get access to all the spreadsheets that we just talked about, where you can go through and enter in all of your actual entry prices for any of the tokens that you currently have, figure out what your actual true dollar cost average is during this time, shows you how many coins you would have. And again, yes, you may have sold some, so it's going to kind of be up to you to figure out kind of where you need to adjust it if you did sell some. But yeah, great little entry price on here. Not only that, you also get access to that nice little profit taking spreadsheet that we talked about, where you can go through and type in some good information in here. Say, for example, you had $2,000 when you first got in, and even right now, say HEX was at 5 cents when you first got in, you would have gotten 40,000 coins. Well, I have a profit taking strategy here to do a double, or to take profit of however much you decide every single time the price doubles. So when it reaches from 5 cents to 10 cents, 10 cents to 20, 20 to 40, right? So on and so forth, you take a certain amount of profit every single time. And during this time, you go through here and say, okay, well, the price has doubled 8 times. That means I would have taken 3 doubles on it, and that means during that time I would have ended up taking roughly about $1,300 out. Now again, keep in mind this only cost you $2,000 when you first got in, and you still have $34,000. Now you don't have to necessarily do the 5%. I think 5% was my number that made sense to me. You can go through here and do 10, for example, and it'll show you all this same information. Now you've taken $2,400 out. Now you're actually in the green at this point in time. You can hold these coins and let it sit there and just keep on crushing, because at this point in time you're just playing with house money, as they say. You've earned and taken out your initial investment, and now you're playing with house money. So yeah, this is all part of it. You get access to the planner here. You can actually build as many calculators as you want as well. Type in the information that you want, change the symbols that you want. It'll change all of this up here. You don't have to do anything. It does it all for you. We get access to the Crypto Millionaire / price prediction model as well. So Patreon is continuing to get all these spreadsheets, and we'll continue to get more spreadsheets. I'm already in development right now to work on some more as a staking strategy system as to what's going on. So Alan Fizme, to answer the question, yes. He says, nice. Yeah, guys, check it out. Very simple. Starts out with like $5 a month or something crazy. You get access to all those beautiful spreadsheets, and if you want access to a little bit more, maybe you get some one-on-one with me and that kind of stuff. There's different tiers for you to be able to join too. So if y'all have any questions for me, that's going to be wrapping up the stream for me today. We're up to 39 likes. Don't know what Crypto 7 was hoping for. Hopefully we can get a little introduction and interview with Crypto 7, but if not, we are going to continue this daily stream. As always, we will eventually be very near soon in the future having a chance to all be streaming together, because dude, when PulseChain V3 launches, wild. We're going to all be showing a whole bunch of stuff. I had a big chance to play around with testnet originally. I'm very curious to see what it looks like on V3 now, and I'm still trying to remember to this day to claim my free pulse.io. If you don't already do that, start building that little habit. It allows you to, once you start making the habit of something, it becomes that much easier to do. You can go to freepulse.io and claim this every hour on the hour. Say you're a human. Soccer, damn. Boom, 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 boom. You say you are who you are, you end up getting some free pulse. Bam, I got one free one right there, but they have a chance to actually end up getting much more pulse on that one. If you just roll any of these numbers, you can get up to 1.4 million pulse for free every hour on the hour. So keep that in mind, guys, because it is an absolute banger of a time. And start building the habit, right? Especially if you have someone that you are trying to get into the ecosystem for PulseChain. When this launches, this is going to be the tool you need to be showing people to allow them to get into the ecosystem, because maybe they don't have any crypto. And that's a blessing in disguise, you know what I mean? They don't even have to hear about anything. They just get to hear about PulseChain when it launches. Blessing in disguise, you know what I mean? Yes, they may be sat on the fork, but that's all good. That's like for those of us who missed out on Big Payday. That's just a little moment in time. And yes, that was a cool little moment. I wasn't able to actually capture that. But does that mean that I can't still participate in the system? Heck no. It means I need to probably go a little bit harder than they did. But that's okay, because, right? That's what we do here. Yeah, exactly. Free Pulse isn't live now. Exactly. So the way it works, Free Pulse is testnet pulse right now only. Like you can literally see right on down here, this is a beta. We use testnet PLS until mainnet. Now again, does that really show? Yeah, this is a beta. We use testnet PLS until mainnet, not redeemable for real pulse. So they make it very clear, no matter what you get here, it's just a testnet purpose only. But if you are wanting to test out the testnet, good tool to have. Also, start building a habit, you know what I mean? Because guys, look at this. In 58 minutes, I can come back here and claim some more free pulse. If you build that habit now, when PulseChain does launch, you can essentially still get the same method going. You won't have to try to build the habit then. And it'll be much more difficult to build at that point in time as well. Because so far I've already earned just, in the last couple days, 1,000 pulse just by doing this simple little roll right here. Nothing crazy. And when you first join, you get 10,000 pulse when you first connect your wallet. So just a little fun site I wanted to share with everyone as well. We got a lot of good sites and good information all around the community. Just an absolute banger of a time. Smash the likeys. Definitely smash the likeys, folks. Guys, I had an absolute blast today. I'm going to go through and edit some more videos and make some more videos and some more content. So I'll be doing that right now, checking everything out, enjoying the rest of the streams with all you beautiful people. Come back tomorrow for some more fun, amazing content. Peace!